Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of It Came From the 80s, hosted by the Nerf Herders. It's a gathering of old friends who try to stay cool in the 21st century while reliving our childhood dreams. I'm your host, Carter. Joining us, as always, on the podcast is Ray, the critic after the credits. And rounding out our trio is Jason, the token millennial, resident nerd, and that jackass that won't shut up. So, guys, what's on the agenda this week? Since we try to be a Star Wars focused podcast, let's start with the news there. Looks like they're spinning up another TV series for the Disney streaming service. Cassian and Andor going to do a prequel for him. Looks like they're going to hit on kind of the Star Wars pre-episode 4, storyline, going into the creation of Rogue Squadron or what he was doing. Not a whole lot about that at this point. All we know is that this is a new project that Disney's spinning up. I'm excited for this. I think this is kind of what they need to do. Obviously, Solo was such a bomb in the theaters. Then Episode 8 was a bomb in the theaters for a lot of reasons. I'm kind of digging these TV shows. I think it's a better way for them to introduce new content to us, and not at the mercy of the movies. I think the movies we had talked about a couple of weeks ago. I think we are at a saturation point. I think a Star Wars movie every year is too much. I think if we get to more of a Star Wars movie every 2 to 3 years, but then they can drip feed us these series through the streaming service and kind of scratch that itch. What do you guys think?
Who was the person you said we were going to be following in this new TV series?
Cassian Andor. He's the guy from Rogue One, the little Spanish guy that helped Rey.
Diego Luna is the actor, by the way.
Yeah.
That helped Rey?
Not Rey.
Not
Rey. Jen Urso.
Jen. Yeah, Jen.
Wow, I had a brain fart there too.
Yeah. The guy that ended up shooting the other rebel once he gave him the information, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He worked with K2SO. I hope K2 shows up. Man, that would be great.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the concept is cool. This guy obviously is. Well, I'm assuming he's infiltrated the Empire in some capacity, but he blurs the lines between good and bad a lot to kind of get the mission accomplished. So I think they can go a lot of different directions with the show. Sure.
Yeah. I for one agree. I think that while I don't mind the Star Wars, if they want to do a Star Wars movie every year, I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me as long as it's good. I didn't mind Solo. It was probably the weakest of all the movies we've seen outside of Episode 8. I wasn't really impressed with that. And honestly, I liked Episode 7 as well with Rey in starting that storyline. But 7 was basically a retelling of New Hope. I felt like nobody really took some creativity with it. They played it safe and cookie cuttered the story from episode, 4 to Episode 7. And then 8 just kind of went off the rails, I felt like, as well. And then Solo wasn't that great. Now, Rogue One was amazing. And I like how it ended. It ended on a dark tone, but it had that, that New Hope coming at the, teasing into Episode 4. And so I enjoyed that, but I also do agree. I know they've tried to throw a lot of Star Wars canon and story into the cartoon stuff, or it's not even cartoon really, it's CG or whatever you want to call it. And I like it, but I don't. It's not entertaining to me. I just don't like to watch cartoons. Sorry. So personally, I think a TV series that's going to act like Diego Luna in it, and as long as it's done production-wise and the story's good, I'm pretty excited about it. I'll be hopeful for it. I'll hold out expectations when we see it. I'm assuming this will be on the Disney Plus service as well, right?
Yeah, it's going to be on their streaming service, yeah.
So we know it won't be too dark. I'm curious if they'll have him shooting other people like he did, and some of that stuff, if he gets his hands dirty, quote-unquote. Is he going to shoot rebel, the rebellions, if there's a rebel fighter or insurgent or something like he did in the movie, or they're going to that was the last we saw that, and it's going to be more of him manipulating and turning his back on people and letting somebody end up in jail or something like that, or in prison, if you will, being tortured.
Ray, what do you think?
I don't know. I hate to be that guy this early in the podcast, but that's who I am in this podcast. I'm not interested. Like you said, the last two movies they kind of just put a bad taste in my mouth. I loved Star Wars growing up as a kid, and these last two movies just kind of made my head hurt. So now every time I even think about Star Wars, my head hurts. So I mean, I'll wait for it to come out. I'll wait to hear about the reviews, but I'm really not dying to see anything else Star Wars. Like I don't even want to see Episode 9. So I'm with Jason. I do admit Rogue One was amazing. I mean, I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the way they wrote it. I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed the ending. I want to slap people who ask me if there's going to be a Rogue 2 or a sequel to Rogue One.
A New Hope.
Right. I don't understand. They don't make it. We would have seen them already. Whatever. But I mean, I can't, man. And I hate that because this is how we started this podcast off because we were going to be Star Wars, centric. But yeah, man, I love Jon Favreau, and I don't even want to see his TV show. I don't know, man. I'm done. I think I'm done for a while. With
so
Star
wait,
Wars.
wasn't Jon Favreau? Isn't he doing Mandalorian as well?
Yeah, yeah. Mandalorian's his show.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm just saying. I'm saying that show too. I'm not really interested in. I mean, this news, cool, I guess. I mean, but I'm just not into it, man. They really, to me, screwed themselves with the last two episodes or slash movies. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just episode 8 it really hurt my heart. I'm so sorry. It just did. I was so disappointed in what they did and the direction they chose. And like I said, and then with a Solo story, you could have just done so much better with both of those. And I think I'm kind of with Carter. I'm tired of them putting a movie out every year or every other year. No, I'm just done. So sorry to be a damper about that.
What did you not like about episode 8? I'm just curious.
The slow speed space chase, the whole casino part of it / let's let the horses out. Basically, Rose and Finn's whole story was a waste. You could have actually let Princess Leia die a peaceful death. You know what I'm saying? You could have let that go, except for when you're going through like space with Force. I don't know. Like she just floated back. Like that bugged me.
Well, she used the Force. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think that in hindsight, I know they finished it in post. She passed away post, but I feel like somebody should have. Yeah, they should have figured out a way to be like, hey, how we shift this around, maybe or something, because she's gonna have to die, but she died. They're not gonna show her really. They're gonna use some old footage in the new movie I've read, but
right.
They're gonna have to kill her off somehow. Either it's gonna be 10 years later, and then they're standing at a gravesite or something, and it's just gonna be weak. I think when they blew up when Kylo Ren blew up the deck of the ship and she shot out into space, they should have creatively done that. Or when the other chick that played the chick from Jurassic Park hyperspace jumped the ship into the Star Destroyer, and that should have been that would have been a pretty dope Leia move to do to kill her off in a really cool way. For me, I think the biggest flaw I had, my brother and I've talked about it, is when they are in space and the ship runs out of fuel, it's not going to slow down. There's zero resistance. There's zero surface. It's a vacuum. So you're just going to
gravity
keep going
in space.
You're going to go at the same speed. Now, at that point, if the Star Destroyers behind them increase their speed, they would catch up. So it's little flaws like that. I did like some of it. I thought it was weak how they killed Luke off. I don't know. I thought there was a lot of, and I agree, the casino thing could have been completely taken out.
All right, can we? So, I'm going to stop you. Can we? Let's get this back on track here.
Of what? We don't want to see any more Star Wars.
Now we're breaking down episode 8.
Well, I mean, he asked a good question. It's just
I know, but
horrible.
let's say we all have. This could be a 30-minute segment on why we hated episode 8.
Oh, I hope we titled this episode that.
Let's get back on point here. Okay, so Ray's not going to watch it. Got it. Moving on. Something that I think Ray will watch. The prequel for Game of Thrones. Looks like they're going back to the tree people, or the before the first men, the little I forgot what they're called. Woodland fairies, whatever they are. You guys know.
Children of the forest.
Children of the forest. Woodland fairies. I like woodland fairies. We're gonna go with that. I'm excited about this show. I think that there's so much content in the Game of Thrones universe that they could do shows for 20 years and people would be happy. I hope this is the start of going back, but I don't want to see him go this far back. I would like to see him kind of go back to the old Valyria and maybe introduce the Targaryens when they were before they fled to Westeros and all that stuff. But I'm geeking out. Game of Thrones, a series I think everyone will agree is cool. Ray, Jason, I think you guys would like this. What do y'all think?
So yes, I just started watching Game of Thrones again, getting ready for season 8, which I think comes out in April 9th, maybe. I was just looking at that. Yes, I'm super excited about season 8. I am pretty excited, I guess. I'm looking forward to, I shouldn't say excited, to the prequel. Not that I really need to know any backstory, but if they write it as well as they write Game of Thrones, I think the same people are producing and writing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then I put full faith in them. You know what I mean? They'll make an interesting story. I never knew I needed a story about people that live in winter versus people who live in summer versus dragons. I didn't know that until this movie or until the show came out. Now that's all I'm obsessed with. Yeah, let's go. Let's go Game of Thrones, woodland creatures.
Well, to give some clarification, David Benioff and Dan Weiss are not going to be involved with this prequel because they've been tied up with the final season. It'll be somebody else, Jane Goldman, who's going to take over with Daniel Zeldman, who've been involved with Game of Thrones. It's not the core people. It's the
aren't they got to be like some sort of executive producers or something?
I haven't seen anything around it confirming that. Either way, okay. I think the people that are going to be involved with it would have been involved with Game of Thrones, so I think it's very hopeful. It's supposed to be based off of a story or series. It's going to be all based off The Long Night, so it looks really, really good. I'm going to watch it. I'm a Game of Thrones fan, 100%. I hope Arya kills everybody. I just saw a new trailer for it, and it shows the 3 Starks walking under the catacombs of Winterfell, and Snow walks past what was Ned's sister, who, spoiler alert, is Ned's mother, and she's
Ned's sister.
Mother.
Ned's sister's Ned's mother? What?
Yeah, shut up.
Well, are you going with that whole Brandon is Bran the Builder kind of thing? Is that what you're doing? Okay. All right.
Who,
sorry.
Me? I haven't gotten there yet. But she says something to him like, you must protect him. And I know that's referring
Arkansas
to
Knights.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jason.
Getting off topic there, douche. But anyway, then Arya walks past, I think it's her dad, and Sansa walks past her mom, and then they come to the very end, and it's 3 of them standing there against statues. I believe it's of themselves, and then the cold is coming, and swords get drawn. And so it alludes to, because in the catacombs, they only show statues of people that are dead. So either all 3 of them die, I'm speculating, or some of them die. I have a feeling just because Martin has said nobody's safe in the series, and granted, this is taking complete creative liberties away from his book, which isn't finished yet and probably never will be. It sounds like, but my expectation is I imagine Arya will die, Sansa lives, and something happens to Jon. Either he becomes a White Walker, or something significant's going to happen there with him.
Can I ask a question? Okay, because like I said, I started the whole series over, and Carter, you're going to hate this because we're going to go off topic because I know you want to talk about it.
Oh, we already are, but that's fine.
Good. That's even better. Why is Cersei wrong in any of this?
Lannister? What do you mean wrong? Define wrong.
Why is she wrong? Why is she evil? Why do we consider her evil in any of this? Like, what is she doing wrong?
She's a stuck-up, spoiled tool shed that looks low at everybody else beyond her if they're not a Lannister.
But no.
She states that in the first couple of episodes when she's up there in Winterfell.
She cares about her family more than any other family, which she should. She's great at strategy, which she should be. When someone asked her,
she has no respect for other people.
No, hold on. When someone asked her why she even married Robert, she said, "I was in love with Robert. I loved him like any other girl did here, and I couldn't wait to give him babies until I met him. And then he just jumped on top of me, drunk, gave me the best 3 minutes he could, and then he rolled over."
Well, and we all know that the babies aren't even his.
Right, that's my thing.
Yeah.
All the babies are her brothers.
He treated her like crap the whole time. So
just like Joffrey treated all of his kids, all of his.
I'm not talking about Joffrey. I'm talking about Cersei. So she got treated like crap by a guy she didn't need, like she wanted to marry, but then he ended up being a dick. And then so now all she's trying to do is preserve her family and keep them on top of the throne, because if you're gonna make me marry somebody and I'm gonna be supposed to be the queen, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna groom my sons into being the best kings they can. Joffrey's crazy. There's nothing she could do about that. She disagreed with a bunch of things he did, but hey, we saw what happened to him. And then Tommen, she tried to.
He's an idiot.
She tried to groom him, but then he fell in love with the redheaded chick, and she was doing all that, like messing up his head. So now, of course, okay, fine. I tried to with my sons. It didn't work. I'm just going to become the queen, and I'm going to run this the way I want to. Like, again, she does nothing wrong. She does exactly what she's supposed to do. Why does everyone think she's evil? I don't understand.
Have you read the books? I haven't, so I can't really say, but I'm going to say there is more backstory with Baratheon in the books. There's a lot more content. There's tons of stuff we miss out on.
I'm only going with
So I take it at a grain of salt, and I take it at not how Cersei is, but how all Lannisters are, and they suck.
Why do they? What do you mean? Again, you're saying they suck from the.
I wouldn't stand behind them.
Why?
There's no loyalty. There's no nobility there. There's no respect. I mean, we're getting way off, but yeah,
okay,
you're
Carter,
not going to get me to back this.
Yeah, no, but Carter, you tell me why you don't like the Lannisters. I really don't understand why people don't like the Lannisters.
In the mythos of Westeros, the Lannisters have no power. They have no legacy. They have no history. They bought their way to power. You gotta figure the Targaryens were the rightful leaders of Westeros. Well, we'll find out here with this new show, thanks to the segment. But the Lannisters had no power. They were financially sound, and so they bought their way to the kingdom. She is not the even now, she's not the rightful heir to the throne of Westeros. There is no, I guess technically, I don't know hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. I don't know the natural progression of when a king dies, if his mother becomes the queen, blah blah blah. The heraldry there, but she. In my opinion, she's not a leader. She's not a ruler. She married a king. The whole country knows that the children that sat on the throne weren't the children of Robert Baratheon, but her brother, and so she's delegitimized. Is she wrong for doing what she's doing? No, that doesn't mean she's not a bitch.
Why? You keep calling her this? Why? She's doing exactly what she's supposed to do. She
looks down at every single person that comes in front of her.
King ever.
No.
Who doesn't? You name one other king on there that doesn't look. He got his head chopped off. Let's try that again. Who else?
He didn't look down at anybody.
Why did he get his head chopped off?
Because he was weak.
No.
Because he was. Because he sit there. He gave her a chance to leave with her kids. And what's the first thing Littlefinger told him? You shouldn't have done that. Why would you do that? And then Littlefinger said, don't trust me. What does he do? He trusts Littlefinger with something, and he betrayed him. He was weak. I'm talking about kings, people who are supposed to be leading their country. They are strong. They do what they're supposed to do. All
right, fine. Daenerys is strong, and she shows she has grace and mercy.
She's got 3 dragons. They tried to burn her as quickly as possible. If it wasn't for those 3 dragons and her being Targaryen, she'd have been dead in the first season.
Oh.
I don't. But I'm moving on.
Hold on. How am I wrong?
You're just very jaded.
No,
You're
I'm
just
not
very
You
jaded.
are.
jaded.
You started tonight with a chip on your shoulder.
I'm
She's a bitch. She's a bitch. She's a straight up bitch. Nobody likes her. No one respects her. No one. Everyone snickers at her behind her back. She has manipulated and screwed her way up to the top, and anyone beneath her, she's killed. I mean, you don't see a problem in her character because of that.
Again,
What
Robert Baratheon. No one liked him except for Ned. Nobody else liked Robert Baratheon. The other Baratheon that tries to come claim the throne.
Stannis and Renly.
Yeah, Stannis. No one liked him. He was just a great leader on the battlefield. That's exactly what everyone said his problem was. The little brother, the one that everyone did like, again, everyone thought he was weak. That's why they thought he shouldn't be a king. I'll give you this: Jon Snow, who everyone thinks would be a great king. What happened to him? He got killed.
For doing the right thing.
Right. That's my point.
Okay, so the Hound is the only person on the whole show, in your eyes, that should be king because he's a prick to everybody. I don't understand your point.
That Hound is.
What's your point, Ray? What's your point? Get to your point.
If you want to be a king or queen of the Seven Realms, you can't be liked. You have to just do you. You have to stand by who you are.
I disagree too. You're being
Again,
basically a tyrant is what you're saying should work.
It's the only way.
Not a tyrant, but you can't care about being loved. You have to rule. Everyone has said that. Even Littlefinger. Even what's the dude that
she doesn't rule though. She forces.
Okay. All right. Well, the last segment of the news. This has been a fun one.
Yeah.
Gaming world, big news for gamer fans out there. Bungie and Activision have parted ways after 8 years of a 10-year relationship. To the layman, it's not going to mean much. To people in the gaming industry or people that play the game, it's a curious turn of events, right? To kind of fill you in. Bungie is the developers or the creators of Destiny game Jason and I play. Activision is a distributor, so Bungie basically wrote the game, gave it to Activision, or Activision gave them money to write Bungie, and then Activision sent it out, 50 million copies around the world and all that stuff. So when we buy the game, and all of the business decisions that have to do with the Destiny franchise are being made by Activision. Bungie is the creative force, Activision is the money force, and those two obviously aren't getting along. The latest earnings call a couple months ago, basically, but Activision said Destiny: The Forsaken, the latest update, isn't giving them the results they expected. And then some of the guys at Bungie are like, "Well, screw you. We're going to continue to make the game we want to make." Ergo, this week, public announcement that Bungie is departing with Activision and keeping their property, and either they're going to be an independent studio, which if you want to compare them to somebody, think of an independent studio like Rockstar Games, the guys that make Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto. They're an independent developer. They make their games and they produce their games. So Bungie could go that direction, or Bungie could partner with another distributor, whether it be Epic Games or EA or somebody else. So what it means for Destiny 2 fans, I don't think anything's going to change. My question is what's Destiny 3 going to look like and moving forward? Bungie's already committed to a production schedule, and they're going to release their next 3 DLCs based on this agreed schedule, but they haven't said what's going to happen going forward. A lot of possible scenarios here. One is the evolution of gaming where it is today. Could Bungie kind of be forward thinking and migrating from a direct relationship with a hardware developer? Like what I mean is a console. Could Bungie look at partnering with Microsoft or Amazon or somebody in a cloud-based platform now where you can play the game on any device? So there's that concept. The other concept, and one that I think is kind of interesting, and I could see them doing, is looking at partnering back with Microsoft, because they split from Microsoft. when they used to write Halo. But Microsoft's got two platforms I think are really intriguing to a lot of game developers. One is the Xbox Game Pass, which is $9.99 a month, and you have up to 100 titles. But there's also this Play Anywhere feature that gamers are asking for and wanting, and we're starting to see that in some titles is cross-platform compatibility. You've got a PlayStation, I've got an Xbox. We can't play the game against each other. The closest we could do that is if I have an Xbox and you have a PC. And there are some games that can do that. I think Forza's one. I don't know if Gears of War is another, because they're both Microsoft. It's a Microsoft product, Microsoft platform. We could see that sort of cross-platform ability. Sony's basically says we don't support cross-platform. We think the best gaming experience is on Sony. Therefore, why would you want to play on anything else? So I don't. This. Like I said, today it's not going to have much of an impact. I'm curious about tomorrow. Jason, what do you think? Since you played Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a gamer since before 2002, but officially out when I owned my own PC, graduating high school in 2002. So I've been around the gaming world a while. I worked at Electronics Boutique before it was GameStop, and the console war of Xbox versus PS2, 360, and all that. Worked through all those and got to experience that. For me, I think what's interesting is I've never understood. I've always just hated Activision because I kind of just went with the party, if you will, on it. Everybody hates Activision. They milk they ruin developers and publishers, and it's all about the dollar for them. It's not about the content and quality. And so when this happened, I was understanding the development, who actually had control and stuff. I think it's a good move for Bungie. They'll be able to roll out a game and discuss it and make the decisions they want to make for right now. Now, what happens when they go with another publisher or whatever else? Who knows? I know that the Microsoft was kind of hands off on some of that to an extent, I would imagine. I don't know. I'm not in that industry that deep, so I don't know. The guys over at IGN could probably be better suited for that. But I think it's a good thing. I'm curious what's going to happen. I've stopped playing Destiny 2. After what was it? The Trials of Osiris, not Trials of Osiris, the Osiris DLC dropped.
Yeah.
I lost.
Osiris.
Curse of Osiris. Thank you. I started losing interest. It was really short, wasn't very interesting, and then when the
Warmind.
Thank you. The Warmind, for when you got to Mars and stuff and dealing with Clovis Bray and stuff, and that's just the world over there. And when you're on the planet Mars and stuff, I liked it, but it just lost me. I felt like unless you were really committed to playing 2 to 3 hours every night, if not more, and having to bounce around between and being kind of forced into doing things you don't want to do, but in order to level up, it lost me. So I slowly hit the eject button on it. I'll probably come back around when D3 launches if it looks promising and what the player control looks like. There's a lot more stuff I'm interested in. I think it's good for Bungie. Frankly, I could care less about Activision. I thought what's interesting, though, when you look at Activision as a whole, because Activision and Blizzard are tied together, they're tied with Bungie. Bungie and Activision split, and then there have been two main people. I think at Bungie or Blizzard leave, and then one was a CFO at Blizzard, and then somebody else, and now there's an investigation against Activision for fraud.
Yeah, I
so
know.
so the plot is thickening. There is something going on in that industry over there that I think there's some sketchy behaviors going on or whatnot. I know that when you really dig into the Activision story, a lot of people don't like them because they've had a lot of lawsuits against them. There's lots of claims where they made programmers work 40 to 80 hours extra in overtime and they weren't really compensated. And of course, that's speculation. You're not there, but when there's smoke, there's fire. They tend to milk content for way more than it's worth and run it into the ground until everybody hates it, and then they dangle a carrot out to you with this freshly polished candy coated turd, but as soon as you bite into it you realize it's a turd. So I think it'll be good for them in the long run. I don't know. I'll see what happens.
Ray, you have any thoughts? I know you're not a gamer, so I'm trying to lay as much context out there as I could.
They did Crash Bandicoot.
They
Who
did a bunch
did?
of.
I'm sorry, what?
Should I mute him?
Who did Crash? What? Crash Bandicoot. Is that
They
Activision
made
title?
I like
yes,
Puddles.
yes,
Yeah.
Activate. They made Bash. I'm looking to see what
Bash
titles they make.
Oh.
Bash Bandicoot.
I said Crash Bandicoot, and then Guitar
Yes.
Hero. I'm looking at some of the titles that they've made.
No,
I'm
they've
listening.
made some of the stuff they've made is really good, but you got to think the era of console, the content that they were working on and really pushing to where it really dug in the ground. I don't think came until more recently when they acquired Blizzard and stuff,
Right.
because when we had Xbox 360, there was online play, but you didn't have all this DLC stuff as crazy as it was now. It was, oh, here's a map pack, or here is something simple. It wasn't like, hey, here's $60 or $30 worth of extra story content that you played through in 15 minutes, but they gave you the expectation it's hours of fun for everybody. No, it's not. They're live.
So hold on. So they're also the ones that made Guitar Hero and like DJ Hero and all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm looking
well,
at.
they published it.
They're
Okay,
a
see,
publisher.
they're a
Somebody else
publisher.
Distribute-
Okay.
they
Somebody else
distribute it.
made it, and
Yeah.
they helped publish it and getting it out there into the market.
Okay. I'm just like I said. I'm trying to look at all these games. And you guys are saying that they were doing X, Y, and Z to certain people. I'm just trying to see what kind of games they.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
yes. No, I'm not a gamer, but I did play some games, so I'm trying to see if I've ever played any of these games that they've published. I guess like I didn't know they did Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Tony Hawk 2 or Call of Duty.
Yeah,
just things that people I know
they were
play.
really
So-
really big for the Tony Hawk series when it came out. That was kind of when things were known. I'm pretty sure they were known. Was it Activision that handled most of the WWE games too?
Yeah, I don't even.
no, that was THQ.
That was THQ. You're right, but they got bought by Activision. I thought. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
so
think of it like this. Think of Madden. I know you play Madden. You understand?
I
that.
do. Yes, EA Sports.
So what if
Okay.
Madden and EA decided to part
Whoa.
That's kind of what this is.
Oh, thank you for putting that in terms I would understand. So does the content of the game change if they decided to part ways?
No, because Madden gets to stay with Madden. They're just not going to release their product on the EA Sports franchise. Maybe now they're going to go to 2K or go at their own and just create a Madden brand.
Oh, well, I mean, then I'm like all for Madden. I guess I would stop dealing with EA. I understand what you're saying because it's not the exact same thing, but I definitely understand what you're saying. So yeah, I mean,
it's the era of microtransactions, and we talked about gaming, several episodes back, is there's really two models. You've got the $60 kind of all in upfront purchase to play a game nowadays. Or there's the free-to-play model like a Fortnite or a PUBG, or not even PUBG, I guess, but Warframe or Overwatch or some of these other games. The base game's free, but you really have to pay to win. You got to buy map packs or gun mods or expansions and things like that.
Yeah, well, Fortnite's the exception to that, I'll say, just because most of what you buy from them is skins. They're the only ones that don't really give you any creative advantage, other than to say maybe the skins can help you with the environment you're in, and which I think is insane to me that people are like, I got to get the new skins. I got to get the new skins. It doesn't affect the gameplay at all, dude.
Right,
So,
but
hold on.
But people, it's a money maker for Epic, and they created a microtransaction system inside Destiny called Eververse, where you basically paid real money for
digital
armor
fake money.
shaders or digital fake money or weapon mods or things like that. So, the big producers or the big distributors that have shareholders and all that stuff. I mean, the Cersei Lannisters of the world, they sorry, I had to take that shot at you. They they have shareholders that they have to report to, and if Bungie made them $40 million instead of $50 million, then the CFO's not going to get his commission of $10 million, and so all heads are going to roll type shit.
Sounds right to me.
I just want to play my game. I want to play a game. I want to enjoy it. I want to immerse myself in the universe and not worry about all the BS that happens behind the scenes.
So which one's more likely to happen in you guys' opinion as far as game players? Is it more likely to happen that you will be able to play games through a subscription, through your subscription with Netflix, where they will be able to tell if you're on a PlayStation or Xbox or whatever, and you'll be able to play that game because you're paying for that subscription, or Xbox or PlayStation comes out with their own subscription gameplay?
Well, they're both already coming out with their own.
Yeah, they're both already. That's already there. So what to an extent. So you've got, I can pay for a subscription from Microsoft for Game Pass, and I get Microsoft games and games they've agreed to, other publishers have allowed them to put into that pass. I can buy an EA All Access pass just for EA games on Xbox One. I assume it's on PlayStation. I don't know.
I would think so. Yeah.
So some of them are cross-platform to an extent, but most of these are
play cross-platform.
Yeah. So most of them, though, at the end of the day, are you buy the pass for that specific console. What I would love to see us get to, and I think Microsoft's toying with it a little bit, and with their Game Pass is, I buy the pass from them. Well, these certain games within that pass I can play on Xbox or PCs and pick up where I left off from one on the other. That's
Right.
kind of cool to me. We're entering
That's
an era.
the Play Anywhere feature that Xbox has.
Yeah. And Microsoft needs to sponsor Carter because you talk about it all the time, as well as give you some type of swag somebody does from DC about talking about Aquaman almost every episode. And dang it, I just mentioned it, and we've now done 11 for 11.
Wow.
You went there.
Yeah.
Well,
you screwed it up.
I don't know. It's to the Activision Bungie thing. We'll see what, like I said, we'll see what happens. We'll see where it goes. But the companies don't evolve, then they're going to be out of business, in my opinion.
Yeah, just like Cersei needs to go away and die.
Is this before or after the Power Glove?
This is after the Power Glove is what caused the move. So
okay.
All right. Well, we've definitely stretched out the new segment we like to call Be Kind Rewind. So we are going to find out some new things to talk about next week. I had a couple other topics, but we'll save those for next week.
I've got one I want to talk about next week. I think it's a crazy story, but it's very interesting.
This wraps up our Be Kind Rewind segment. Coming up is the Midlife Crisis Matinee, where we get to showcase. I'm done watching your movies, Ray.
What do you mean you're done watching my movies? Like, I thought the point of this was just to watch 80s movies and look at them and laugh.
Such bad. I mean, you guys roasted me over Sword and the Sorcerer, and I deserve.
That's a horrible. Yeah, that's a horrible.
I
movie.
deserve. This was crap. This was grade A. I mean, this movie was trash.
First of all, okay, so backstory.
He has the power.
Backstory, audience. I told everyone they should watch and Google that little YouTube 10-minute video, right?
And that was 10 minutes of my life I wanted back.
So you didn't find any of that interesting, right? About how like they were lying and cheating behind the scenes to even get this movie done. The producers were robbing Peter to pay Paul. That the last they
so they were being like the Lannisters.
Yes, pretty much.
The Lannister.
No, that is not happening right now.
Anyway, the fact that they built this big old hall to have this massive like fight at the end between He-Man and Skeletor, and they couldn't even use it because it got foreclosed on. So the director had to spend $50,000 of his own money to film that the worst, the darkest, and dark by I mean lighting, not dark as in like a dark scene. The worst lighting like sword fight ever. Yes, the movie was crappy, but it's good to know why it was
better
crappy.
than this movie.
No, it was not. I mean, okay, yeah, it probably was. I'm just saying, like, to me, my whole life, I've loved He-Man, right? Masters of the Universe. I was so excited to watch this movie as a child, and when I left, I was so disappointed in this movie. Like I was like, that what is that? That's not even He-Man. Like it made no sense. Like I'm supposed to be watching them on Eternia. Why am I seeing them down the street at McDonald's from my house? Like that was the dumbest thing. Who is this little elf dude that I've never seen in my cartoon? Okay. And did you
All right,
like
all right, all right. Before you get into your rant, well, let's do this because I want you to spare people from watching this dumpster fire of a movie that Dolph.
No, you gotta watch it.
In.
You gotta watch it.
You need to tell everybody. Let's break down the story just a little bit for everybody.
I can't even break down the story. All I know is He-Man and Tila and Man at Arms were somewhere, and all of a sudden they're looking for a key.
So let's be serious. Man of Arms is wearing a toy helmet that like a 6-year-old kid would wear that he bought at the Dollar Tree.
I'm not worried about the props. I'm not worried about the props.
The key ends up in
time out.
California?
How they didn't get sued by everybody that made a movie prior to this is amazing. And I watched the movie today. I watched it because I hadn't seen it in 30 years, and I had nothing better to do. And my wife and I sat down after dinner, and she got up 5 minutes in and goes, "This is painful. I can't believe you're watching this." And she's even calling out all the piracy. I mean, Skeletor comes marching in, and I mean, it was worse than the Vanilla Ice saying he didn't steal Under Pressure by Queen. Because it's dun 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 dun. You hear that other duh? I mean, that was Darth Vader's song verbatim for him walking in.
Make way for Darth Helmet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just the whole. And I understand the Golden Globus storyline, the Canon Group. There's a great Netflix video that kind of talks about these two guys and kind of all the crazy crap they've done. They made it. They made a bunch of movies in the 80s. Go watch that video.
4.
The intro. The intro where they're showing the credits. Like, good God, this is the Richard Donner Superman theme songs and the whole visualization of the letters flying in and all this stuff.
Because they were literally working on Superman 4 the exact same time they were doing this. They were cheating and cutting costs. That's what made this so interesting. That's why I wanted you guys to watch it. Not for let's see if this movie is great. I want you to understand why this movie was so horrible. Again, I hated this movie.
I don't need
until I watched that
video to watch it. The fact that it's Dolph Lundgren.
But did you know universe, and then Courtney Cox is in it, and just looking at the poster art and box art for the movie, watching the trailer alone would be like, nope, I'm out. Totally but I'm just saying, as a kid, that's all. I mean, I grew up watching He-Man, and then I wondered why. Up until now, to my 40 years of living, I've wondered why that movie sucks so bad, and now I have the answers. Now this movie makes a lot more sense.
You had to watch a 10-minute YouTube video to figure out why the movie sucked?
Yeah. You didn't. I mean, because people don't make movies to be like, yeah, this movie's going to suck. I'm just going to make this to suck. I mean, like the guy that played Skeletor. Amazing. He tried to bring a Shakespearean like feel to that character. You see why now because of that video. And I mean, it makes his performance a whole lot better.
What's amazing is to go on to see the other movies he does. I can't think of his name now, but I mean, he
Frank Langella.
Yeah. I mean, he does Frost versus Nixon. He plays Nixon. He does great movie work. It's like, I guess it's one of those things is there's no bad acting or no gig in Hollywood's bad. And it's everybody eats their turd sandwich every now and then.
So you thought he did a bad job in this movie?
I mean, I think the movie was terrible. It was just bad.
He overacted the part.
Yeah. I mean, he only did it because his son liked He-Man.
Let me get this straight. He overacted the part, so you just wanted him to sit there, you bibbling buffoons. That's all you wanted to hear him say the whole time? Because anything over that is overacting the part. Let's be honest. I mean, he was the best part of the movie. Like, you could actually tell he cared. He acted the movie. Like, I would expect for Skeletor in real life to be like that, not you idiots or I'm surrounded by buffoons. Like, that's a kiddie.
Bumbling buffoons.
Whatever, same difference.
I would rather watch a YouTube clip on repeat of cartoon He-Man singing "Hey Yeah Yeah Yeah"
No, you wouldn't.
on repeat than watch Masters of the Universe.
Again,
okay?
I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm just saying that I understand.
I get to
why
pick
it's
this
a bad
week,
one
and
now.
I sent y'all a list in Discord of movies that we should watch, and it's going to probably be one of those.
So you guys, like I said, did either one of you watch what I told you to watch on YouTube?
I watched it.
No, I did not
watched
watch
it.
your. I did not
I
watch
just-
your 10-minute video. I know
Right.
I know the history and the story of Golden Globus, the Cannon Group, from the Netflix video. I watched the movie because that's the assignment: is we watch this movie, not the 10-minute documentary of said movie. So
I could have swore in the last episode I said, "Hey, watch this before you watch
you
the
did,
movie, so you can get a better understanding."
I sped watched, but I'm gonna tell you this: I watched the movie, and then as soon as I finished the movie, I just typed in He-Man trivia, and basically what was in that 10-minute video, I read in about 5. Did anybody actually watch past the credits though?
yeah, where Skeletor. I remember that from when I first.
I remember
that.
I never noticed that. So when the movie ended and went to credits, I stopped. And I said, "You should watch past the credits." And I went, like, "Huh? They set it up for a sequel." Do you know what the script for the sequel really became?
Yeah, I do, and I can't remember right now. What is it?
Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes, that's what it was. Cyborg.
Now I
Yes.
want to watch Cyborg. I don't know how.
How
I
the
don't
hell
know.
did they take the script from? Wow.
Yeah, I'm not picking it this week. One of y'all can. I'm having a hard time figuring out which movie I want to do this week, but I think we should do Cyborg at some point. The movie sucked, Ray.
I never said it
even
was
at
good.
even
I
in
never
the final,
said it
the
was
third
good
final
movie.
act, we get steampunk Skeletor in gold plating.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
Again, never said it was a good movie. I'm just
only-
telling you.
The only thing out of
I
your
appreciate
video
it.
that I enjoyed, or actually, I don't say enjoy, but intrigued me, was the fact that Dolph Lundgren went to MIT and has a chemical engineering degree.
Yeah, it's kind of dope. Didn't know that, did you?
No, I think that's pretty crazy. Because
I
even in
mean-
the movie, he plays a muscle-bound idiot, and he actually is pretty intelligent.
Dude, I always wonder. I was like, why didn't they have Orko in here? Did you know the reason why? Like, okay, first of all,
Production costs. I think everything was around production costs.
no, Mattel told them they couldn't have it. And did you because in the movie, Skeletor actually kills a villain, right? They told them that they couldn't have any of the main villains except for Beastman and what's name and Evil Lyn. Yeah, and they were like, because you can't kill any of our anybody that we have in the cartoon. They also told them that they have to make sure, like those fake stormtroopers, they have to say that they're robots because He-Man doesn't kill people. Yeah. So I'm like, that explains a whole lot about everything. Why they made up these new characters that we never saw in the cartoon. Like, that was one thing that bugged me as a kid. Like, where's all the characters? Where's Stinko guy and where's whoever else? Lockjaw. None of that. You know what I mean? It's just, it made a lot more sense now. So I'm not saying the movie was great. I'm not saying it is. And the thing that really bothers me is that the same people who let that go to the theater are the people who we're entrusting to make this new Masters of the Universe movie. And they still have the exact same restrictions. Like, how can you make a good movie when you guys don't even let things, you won't even let things go? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's, again.
So you're more upset about that than the fact that you made us watch a movie that was, I forget how long, and wasted that much time in my life, plus a 10-minute video.
You didn't watch it, remember? And he didn't watch the video. So I don't want to hear that from either
I
one of
watched the movie. I just sped watched
you
the 10-minute video.
watched the movie.
Okay, all right. Time out. The point of this is, yes, we are supposed to go back and rewatch a movie from the 80s.
Yes.
I did.
So I did. I watched a movie from the 80s.
Yes.
Ray, if your commentary is, we could have watched this to save us the hour and a half, 2 hours of watching that, and watched a movie that you wanted us to watch.
I still wanted you to watch this movie. I'm not talking. I'm just saying the 10-minute commentary explains why it was so bad. All these other movies we watch, they're just bad. We don't understand why. We don't know who let these people make this movie. Like your Beastmaster. I mean, Beastmaster.
I don't think Beastmaster was bad though. I actually enjoyed Beastmasters. I enjoyed watching it again. It had some bad acting and stuff in it, but And it's no sword and the sorcerer with the projectile, sword gun
Right, okay,
that has a dip in it. But
Cool.
that's
as
my point
hell.
right
it
there.
was
So no, it's not cool as hell. That's my point. Like you wonder that sword in the whatever ones we watched.
Here's the thing: you go into those movies with a clean slate. They're not based off of a cartoon or anything like that, so they're bad in their own rights because they're '80s movies. But this is bad on a whole new level of bad.
And now we know why. That's my whole
I
point.
didn't need to know why. I just knew it was going to be bad.
It was my pick. I wanted to know why. I wanted you guys to understand why when we watched why it was so bad. As everyone knows that's ever listened to this, I was a huge He-Man fan growing up. Like I had all the toys. Why was this movie so bad? I did not understand until I watched that.
Okay, why is this movie bad? You've got a guy from where's he from? Where's Dolph from anyway?
Swedish.
What country? You got a Swedish guy playing He-Man who could hardly speak English. And so
no, don't say that because we had an Australian guy who could barely speak English and he was the Terminator.
Austrian, not Australian, but yes.
Austrian. Yeah. Okay. That's funny.
Oh.
First of all, I was like, Mel Gibson? What?
Good day, mate. I'll be back.
That's funny. Okay.
Okay, so you got a Swedish guy whose native language isn't English, obviously. And I mean, just coming off of Rocky IV and blah blah blah, and that's fine. The guy needs a job, I get it. But you can tell like every other line of his was dubbed. You've got this and I mean I understand the trademarking rights, why you can't have some characters in the movies and everything under the all that stuff. We can't kill any characters that Mattel makes an action figure for. Fine. So we introduce new characters. Okay. Just this weak story, the mystical key in the universe is aligned by notes, and you have the darkness and the light, and when the magic eye opens, I have the power. And then this crappy fight scene and just horrible special effects and everything. I mean, yes, the movie encapsulated everything is why we do this segment, is to watch these horrible movies. But I don't know. It just I didn't like the movie 30 years ago. It didn't hold up. It didn't age well. For the spirit of the Midlife Crisis Matinee, this was not good.
I'm going to have to say that I actually remember watching this when I was younger, and it was sometime in the 90s, just because I was born in 84. And I actually didn't mind it back then, but watching it now, man, it was bad. But the same thing we said about movies now that they're made for kids. The whole the synthesizer toy thing I thought was stupid. And then how do we figure out how to fix it? Oh, my band and this, and I've got computer sound equipment that can do this, and terrible.
Again, the movie sucked. I now know why the movie sucked, so now I appreciate it a lot more. That's it.
Just be glad I'm not making y'all watch Meet the Feebles.
Oh no, we're not watching that. I would have refused. I'm not tripping acid.
I refuse to watch it.
I mean, I'm looking at the list of all the Golden Globus films. Holy crap, these guys put out a bunch of shit.
I'm gonna. Can you send the
Last
link?
American Virgin, Breakin' 2, Breakin' and Breakin' 2, Electric
both,
Boogaloo.
Both
we can
great movies.
Thank him for that. Bolero, Bo Derek, Delta Force, Lady Chatterley. So they kind of got into the Skinamax a little bit.
What's wrong with Breakin' and Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo?
Nothing. Obviously, these guys like Jean-Claude Van Damme because wasn't he in those movies? He's in one of them.
He's
a backup dancer in one of them.
Let me check that out.
Oh, he is.
Send me the link. I want to see this.
All right. famousflix.com/list Golden Globus films. I'm putting it up in Discord. I'm putting it in the episode 11 channel. Cobra, Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Highlander.
Wait. Cobra, wasn't that the one with Stallone? That was a good movie.
Well, we'll see. Maybe we should watch that again. Highlander, all the Emmanuel. These guys big into Skinamax. I'm liking it.
Yeah, over the top.
the young
Horse.
the young playmates, the happy hooker. Here's a movie, Sword of the Valiant, the Legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Hey, they made Captain America, the OG Captain America movie.
Oh,
I actually like that.
You're dumb. There's a movie called Hot Chili. Niet Eileen Etten is heat in Mexico. Oh,
Hold on,
okay.
they brought us Kumite?
Yes.
Ooh, American Samurai. I remember seeing that one.
Yeah, all the Death Wish movies. Charles
Bronson. Oh
Miss
man, those are
him.
terrible. Gosh,
He was in Breaking. You are absolutely correct.
I knew it.
how could one studio make this many terrible movies?
Well, one studio is just these two guys, and their story's really funny. You need to watch. I'll try to find the video. It's on Netflix. But I mean, yeah, you look at all these movies we have, to thank these guys for all the American Samurai, Ninja Domination, Invasion USA. Holy
Now,
crap!
doesn't all that explain why we got that kind of Masters of the Universe movie?
Yes.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh.
Firewalker with Chuck.
Isn't this like the Activision of movies?
The Activision of movies. That's awesome.
Just a bunch of crap that people go see and then they regret afterwards.
Disposable movies at their finest.
Wow. So. Ooh, Highlander. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to say this, and I think we can all agree with it. It did not stand the test of time then. It doesn't stand the test of time now.
Yep.
And yeah, the only thing I thought was interesting too is Chris Pine's mother played Courtney Cox's mother in the movie.
Really? Did
Yeah.
not know
I
that.
saw that too. Yeah.
Yep. So that's about it. That's all I can say. So I guess it's my turn to pick a movie this week. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Oh man,
What-
so many
what-
great choices.
What choices did you put in Discord? Just because I'm
Oh,
looking up.
So Ice
Let the
Pirates,
fans know.
Metal Storm, The Wraith, Deep Star 6, Time Guardian, Enemy Territory, Space Rage, Dead Heat. These all sound terrible.
Hold on, but before we decide, or you decide,
I decide. There's no we in this. This is an I thing.
Okay, before you decide, I think the last good movie that was picked was what, Big Trouble in Little China. I mean, so are we just gonna start looking at watching B flick movies, or are we gonna go back to
time
finding
out,
movies
time
to
out.
enjoy ourselves?
So we did what was last week? Was my pick last week?
We did
I
Tron.
Tron, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That was a good movie.
I'll give you that. I'm sorry, I forgot about Tron.
We
You're
did
right.
Sword and the Sorcerer, Beastmaster, Tron,
The Wizard.
The
The Wizard. That was a great movie.
Yeah. And then, like I said, Big Trouble in Little China.
Well, I think all the movies out of the 80s are B movies. I mean, what are we going to get? Out of Africa or Gandhi? I mean, come on.
No, I'm just sure there were some better movies.
There is When Harry Met Sally, if we want to go that route.
I really thought you were going to say Harry and the Hendersons. But anyway. Oh, you guys didn't enjoy Harry and the Hendersons?
That was a good movie.
Thank you. I was about to say, it got real quiet after I said that.
I liked it.
Jason?
Sorry, I'm filtering through a bunch of movies.
Have you ever seen Harry and the Hendersons?
Oh yes, where he's in the basement. Ooh, you know.
I don't even know what that
All right, so, gosh, there's the Commando, New Commando, Dune. I could make y'all watch Ewoks: The Battle of Endor.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do
Howard
that.
the Duck.
Howard the Duck is amazing.
We did Last Starfighter, so that was a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
a
a
good
good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good one.
Monster
Howard the
Squad, that'd be a good one.
Howard the... Hey, it's your pick. Whatever you pick
I
is what I'm gonna
know.
pick. I'm gonna.
I don't know.
I mean,
We did. Oh, They Live. That was also a great one. And Time
That was
Bandits. That
They Live was our first one. The first
They
one.
Live was a classic.
yeah.
I'm just saying, next time I pick one, I'm gonna make sure it's actually a good movie that I adored.
I'm gonna do The Wraith.
The Wraith. What is The
Good
Wraith
movie.
about?
It's got Charlie Sheen in it, Tiger Blood.
Okay, you got to give me more than that.
He's a
He
he's
dies
a
and comes
wraith.
back as a wraith, and
It's got a bunch of
seeks
car
revenge on it.
races and Clint Howard's in it, and
I don't know who Clint Howard is. Is he relation to Teen Wolf?
he's Ron Howard's brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I do know him.
Yeah, he's in almost every Ron Howard movie with Ron.
He's in every Ron Howard movie.
He's got
He's
Randy
in-
Quaid.
He was in Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yes.
Star Trek, yeah.
So here's the synopsis of Wraith. Packard Walsh and his motorized gang control and terrorize Arizona desert town, where they force drivers to drag race so they can win their vehicles. After Walsh beats a decent teenager, Jamie Hankins, to death after finding him with his girlfriend, a mysterious power creates Jake Kesey, an extremely cool motorbiker who has a car which is invincible. Jake befriends Jamie's girlfriend, Carrie. Johnson takes Jamie's sweet brother, Bill, under his wing and manages what Sheriff Loomis couldn't eliminate Packard's criminal gang the hard way. Dun dun dun. The Wraith.
It's got a cool car in it.
Yeah, it's got an interesting looking car in it. Out of all the movies, like, you know what? If it's I'll watch this one. I'm probably gonna try to stick in the B movie land for a little while.
Well, in B movie land is where we'll be at for a while with you.
I mean, you got to think 80s. You had Beetlejuice, you had Beverly Hills Cop movies, you had The Breakfast Club, you had the Caddyshack, Clue, Die Hard came out in the 80s.
Those are too easy. Yeah, I see.
I know, that's the thing. There's great ones. There's Fletch, Field of Dreams, Flight of the Navigator, The Ghostbusters, Goonies.
Nah, nobody wants to watch those.
Indiana Jones. That's what I'm saying. We got to go with some of the cheesier stuff. Major League would be a great one to do.
Let's go with the Wraith.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I've had enough. This thing's going on an hour and a half.
I love lamps. Come on.
Yeah. So.
All right. So we're gonna do the Wraith next week. Hopefully, Facebook, my computer, and internet and life will cooperate with us. Sorry if y'all weren't able to join us live because we couldn't get it to work live. So that's my fault. Shun me.
You were shunned.
You be shunned. Good episode, guys. I think we kind of went off the rails a little bit. Kind of had to bring it back in on the Game of Thrones conversation, but pretty much every news topic we went way too far. But that's what we do on this show. We find simple subjects and beat them to death.
And Carter and Ray, you need to hug it out over Game of Thrones.
No, we do not. You guys are wrong. That's just basically it.
What's the rule, Carter? If we're in agreement and he's opposite of us, he's always the wrong one.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would like to point out that Aquaman did break $1 billion in the box office, so it is one of the
here we
highest-rated
go.
DC movies of all time. 11 for 11. Yay! You knew how to get it in. Knew it.
I'm gonna make a swear jar. It's gonna be the Aquaman jar for you.
Knew it.
Can we sign off, please?
All right, guys.
You can find me on Twitter at big_dudes or on Xbox Live. My gamer tag Big Dudes, although I'm trying to think of a new gamer tag. I don't know. I'm bored. Who knows?
Hey,
I'll
you
always
suggested a great one over text message to us.
You be quiet.
Big douche.
So I don't know. You can still find me on Twitter at Big Dudes, big_dudes. You can follow us on Twitter at NerfirstPod1, or you can obviously find us on Facebook if Jason can ever get our Facebook going live button working. We're too old. Jason, where can they find you?
Same thing. Twitter is at no says I, so SEZEYE. Same thing for my gamer tag on Xbox. You can hit me up there. And yeah, Ray, how can I get in touch with you?
Glad you
Besides Cersei's underwear, where can they find you?
So glad you asked. Okay, so I know I always goof off this part and tell you can find me at some place that's super random or something I've done this week. But I'm actually going to tell you guys that right now you can find me on Twitter at Movie Cred. My name is Critic After the Credit. I know we've talked about that a couple of times on here, but you can actually find me on there. I'm setting up my Facebook page. We're going to put that announcement out later this week, and then my Instagram will be Critic After the Credit, and I'm going to kind of put something up on our Facebook page, kind of announcing my Facebook page and my Instagram page and everything, to kind of push people there. Trying to do something a little different when it comes to reviewing movies and TV shows. I'm actually just going to be doing it in a minute format on Instagram. A lot of people do YouTube right now. It's not really my style. I mean, either people just really want to know if the movie's good or bad and your quick thoughts about it. That's what I'm going to do via Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook on Thursday, starting next Thursday, not this Thursday coming up, but next Thursday, I will be doing a live chat with people on Facebook and Instagram where I'll be talking about movies and TV shows, things I like, don't like, just kind of doing my own little thing. And if I bring up a movie that I do not like or a TV show and you can change my mind, I will be buying you movie tickets. So 2 movie tickets or 1 movie ticket, depending on if you have a girl or not. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to doing. So hopefully the adventure will be good, and you guys will be following me too.
Well, cool. Yeah, look for Ray at what you said, Movie Cred. That's your Twitter handle.
That's how you find me. Yeah, but I'm the critic after the credit. But you can find me under Movie Cred, and like I said, just different ways. I'll make sure to outline all that whenever you see me on later this week on Facebook.
Okay. Well, I was searching on Twitter for Cersei's bitch boy and couldn't find you, so that's good.
Oh.
All right, guys.
So you guys will be super mad whenever she ends up on the throne, won't you? It came from the 80s.
All right, guys. See y'all later.
Yeah.
You complete me.
You had me at hello.